My name is Monica Gleberman, and you're listening to Silence on Set podcast. On today's podcast, we're talking to one of the cast members of Dear Edward, which is a story about Edward Adler, a boy who survives a plane crash that kills every other passenger, including his family members. As Edward and others try to make sense of life after the crash, unexpected friendships, romances, and communities are formed. So to talk about the show and what fans can expect this season, here's Eva Ariel Binder, who plays Shay.
So, like I said, I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you.
I have been a very big fan of yours for quite a while because you've been in a lot of things and you're super young. I'm so excited to have you on here. So thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Oh, of course. I am so happy to be here.
Well, obviously I want to get to, and the reason why I reached out was because of Dear Edward, which is a brand new show that's on AppleTV Plus, and it's amazing. And you're so cute in it.
Oh, thank you.
I want to kind of start a little bit in the past, if you will. So I was doing research and saw that you started around 2016, 2015, around then into acting. So I was curious, you're a baby. So young, like younger, what made you decide, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Well, here's kind of what happened. So when I was in preschool, my mom kind of taught me and the other little preschool kids little like musical theater numbers, and we ended up doing one of those numbers in a cabaret show. And then a family friend of ours ended up bringing their son's manager. Long story short, we ended up signing with that manager after doing a few national commercials with an agent, and I'm still with her today. So
wow. So literally all started from that.
And then also my mom comes from like musical theater on Broadway. She used to sing on Broadway. She did Broadway. She was amazing. And then my dad owns a post-production company called IMN Creative. So I've had both sides strongly
in your life. Oh wow. So you kind of grew up in the business a little bit.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Like,
so oh, sorry. No, it's okay. Were you kind of like on sets and stuff when you were young? And like, did you get to see a whole bunch of things, or you just heard kind of from your parents?
Well, we own a post-production company. So even from when I was little, my dad or my mom would hold me up to the little microphone and I would do little like voiceovers and stuff. Funny thing, my dad actually recorded my birth and it was put into a horror movie.
Oh my gosh, no way.
So I guess I've been going since second one, but
oh my gosh. Okay, wait, hold on. This totally derailed all my questions.
Oh,
but okay, so your birth, your dad like recorded just like as a dad recorded?
Oh yeah, professionally recorded.
Okay, so he recorded it. How did that end up in a horror movie?
Well, it's a horror show. It was called horror show. It was it's called Channel Zero.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually not sure what part it's in, but I know it's in there.
So somehow it landed from you just coming into the world on a TV show.
Yeah. And then also, sorry, really quickly, there's also my dad did Community, the sound for Community. Mm-hmm. So I was oh my gosh, the little video game, cool, Baby
oh
Abed.
Gosh, look at this is like all like secret talents I did not know from you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically your parents have been using you.
Yes, but I loved doing it. I found it really fun. It was like preschool recess.
That's so fun. Oh my god, I wish my parents were that cool. So basically you literally start from birth, but I guess it's in your blood, in your veins. You do like a couple things and then you hit Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
So how did that happen? Because growing up, so just so you know, I'm probably twice your age. I'm 36. So when Grey's Anatomy first started, I'm that old that I remember. And we would watch it like weekly. Like it was like, so, it's a huge show, and it still is like a number one, like huge show. So right away I was like, which one was she? And then like I went back and watched it, and I was like, oh my God, it's her. So you were on for significant, it was like 8 episodes over the course of like 2 years. You came back like in another. So how did that happen? Because it's like one of the most coveted shows to try to get on.
So, funny story. I was filming a Toyota commercial, and I got that day I got the audition for Grey's Anatomy. So I literally went from set into the car, learned my lines in the car, went to the audition, and I ended up booking Sophia Sloan Torres. And I didn't even know who I booked until the wardrobe people actually slipped and told us.
Oh my
And
God.
and I booked this a very long time ago, so I don't really remember like the details.
Right, like the minutia, but you remember like the getting on the show.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Do you have like any memories of acting or being on the show? Because you were so little.
I actually do. I have a few like little memories here and there. One that really like stuck with me is I loved riding in the golf carts. They would they would put us in golf carts going back and forth from set, and I love golf carts. And then also one more thing was Jessica Capshaw. Whenever I used to see her, she would tell me the funniest jokes. All I remember is that she's like super funny, and I loved her so much.
That's so awesome. I've been on sets a couple of times, and like just like side note, I know it sounds stupid, but I do love the golf carts too. And like it would be so funny because you'd be like at a trailer, and like the studio's not that far, or like the stage. But if someone offered it, I'm like, yeah, I'll hop on the back, drive me. And they have their little sign on, like you just sit there and
Yeah.
they're right there. So I get it. I love that stuff. Anytime I'm on set, I'm like, sure, I will walk the 100 feet. You can drive me. So that's so cute. So that's like some of your first memories. But
Yeah.
like, I'm like looking over, and I was like, oh my gosh, she was in so many things. So I'm like going through. And then of course, what I know you from prior to, well, there's 2 projects I know you from specifically. Prior to getting Dear Edward was Stillwater.
Yes.
Stillwater.
Stillwater.
You were so good in that show.
Stillwater.
And that
Thank
show was very significant because it was 200 episodes, I think, something like that you were in.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, how you got involved, and then just, memories about it, or, kind of like the whole process.
Well, okay, so Stillwater.
Mhm.
I do remember what happened when I booked that. It was super super awesome, and I was honestly just so excited because I wanted to be part of something super educational, and Stillwater is super educational. It teaches children how to deal with their emotions, how to meditate with Stillwater Little Panda. Um, um, I just honestly, I remember being so excited because it's such a magical show, and it's such a magical script, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then when it actually came out and I got to see little Addie, she's just the sweetest little girl. And I'm so honored that I still get to play her today. She's just so cute.
It's so cute. Were you expecting, I don't know if anyone expects this, but were you expecting it to go on for so long? Like,
No.
episodes? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, I'm always crossing my fingers and my toes, but
Mhm.
I am just like so happy and like so
Emotional?
emotional. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. I'm so happy and I'm so emotional that it's still going. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, so I knew you from that. Obviously, I knew your voice and like things like that. And then I think right before Dear Edward, I saw you on 911.
yes.
And again, huge show. So talk about this girl that literally comes out of the womb and is in a movie, but you're like hit show after hit show. I mean, I could list everything and talk about everything, and I would drive you crazy. But for 911, you were on it, and this is a show where you were on like, it's still in its peak, but you were in 2022. Talk to me a little bit about your character. And did you do any, now like you're getting a little older, did you do any like prep or any work for that? I know it was 1 episode, but you're coming on, they're all established, everybody knows each other. So what was kind of your process there?
Well, the scenes that I did were, well, I lost my dog,
Mm.
and the dog ran away, which I actually have dogs. I sadly just lost two of them early 2022. So
Mm.
I use a thing called emotional preparation where I can either use like real things that have happened to me in my life or imaginary circumstances and put them into a storyline in my head and live through them to access these emotions. It's a Meisner technique. And when I did these scenes, it was pretty, since everything was still pretty raw, it was really easy for me to access the emotions. And oh my gosh, I'm just gonna add this. That dog was so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh, talk about working with a dog.
What is that like too? Because I know a lot of people go, oh, like the worst thing ever is working with babies, working with animals. And I'm like, really? Like, I feel like it's so fun.
Oh my
So
god.
what was that experience like? Because I'm assuming there's a trainer, they tell the dog what to do and all of that kind of stuff. So how do you coordinate that? Because on screen we just see you with the dog. We see the dog get lost. Like I remember that whole thing. My heart was broken too. The whole time I was going, please find the dog.
The
What
dog.
was that? What was that like, in terms of working with someone? Is it weird when you're dealing with like a trainer and stuff like that?
Well, it is kind of weird, yes. We did have to do a few blocking things, and I had to wait for the dog to go up on the couch and then run, and had to not get hit by the tail and stay in the light. It was a little difficult at some times, but other times I was just like petting the dog and rubbing the dog's little butt. It was, oh my gosh. I loved filming that day.
And you were with, I don't know if you were on the same, I'm trying to think back, but there are major celebrities on that show, major talent. So did you meet any of them, and were any of them like trying to give you advice, or did you talk to any of them about kind of like the future, what you want to do, or was it more of just working?
Sadly, I didn't get to work with them,
Mhm.
but right when I was about to leave, I did see all of them just like trooping in, just like on a little line. I was like, I didn't get to say hi, but I did take a picture from afar, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool.
So, well, we could say like you could say hi now. So we're like, hi to the cast of 911. Remember, she had the dog. The
Dog,
dog with
someone
the dog.
missing. Fireworks.
Oh my gosh, it was such a great episode. I love that episode. I mean, that show is very heartbreaking with a lot of the storytelling, which
Mhm.
ironically, beautiful segue, swear I did not have it planned, which leads me to Dear Edward. So I'm sitting at home and I get screeners, and this is what I do all day, every day. I watch so much stuff. It's crazy how much goes in the brain. I don't know how. And so I'm like, all right, I get the screeners for the season, and I'm like, I'm just gonna start it. I'll watch a couple episodes. That was the plan. And then I literally watched the first episode, and you know, I saw, Colin at the end, and then I was just like, okay, now what happens? And then I just started going through, and I watched the entire thing. I would say in like a day and a half, like a crazy person. Like I literally sat and just was like constantly watching all of the episodes. So,
I did that too.
oh, you did too? It's so good. So first of all, Jason Katims, I'm a huge fan of. Growing up, like when I was younger, he did, shows that I grew up watching. I mean, he's like a genius. And then obviously the biggest thing I'm sure people are going to talk about is that he did Friday Night Lights, which brings back Connie Britton because they have that connection because she was on that show. But he has this great way of showing tragedy in beauty, if that makes sense. And he has a great way of also being very real. The way he shoots, and there seems to be a lot of freedom and like kind of what he like offers the actor. So I was super excited, and it was like a high level, and I literally was like, oh my God, I'm so impressed by this show. And then second episode comes in, and we see, so basically, I guess like for people listening, I've already interviewed a couple of people, but for people listening, if you haven't listened to the other ones, Dear Edward is basically about a family or a bunch of families that get on a plane, and we really kind of see it through the point of view of Edward. But a bunch of families get on a plane, the plane crashes, Edward's the only one that survives, and then we follow the aftermath, the ripple effect of what happens when all of those people that have family that survived. and how do you get through that, and what do you do? And then also, what do you do when you're the miracle kid that survived when all of these other people did not? So that's kind of what the show's about. So when that happens, he has to move. And when he moves, we meet his awesome, badass neighbor who's on rollerblades and like in this awesome scene. I think like the first time we see you, you're in the street, like doing a mini like roller derby, hitting like a thing against like hitting like a basketball thing with like a coat on it and stuff. And we're like, who is this girl? And she's his neighbor, and her name is Shay. So intro you. And I saw you, and right away I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to her. So for Shay, when you got this script, again, you're dealing with, and Shay deals with this too, although Shay does not have a direct connection with the flight, she deals with a lot of stuff emotionally, like we all do, right? With life. She has family situations, friend situations. We see her in all kind of different scenarios as the season goes on. So when you got the script for this, what was your first inkling to play Shay? What did she come to your mind, and did you have a perspective of how you wanted her to be and bring that to the table? Did you walk into the audition, have it in your mind, and you were like totally off, and they were like, no, we want you to change everything, try this? Like, how did that kind of formulate?
I am not 100% like Shay, because Shay is a very outspoken person. She is confident, she's tough. She says things like it is. She's blunt. So to really find Shay, I had to journal her life to really understand her. Like, I journaled her relationships with her parents, her school life, because she goes to a public school and I don't even go to regular school. Her roller derby, because Shay does roller derby. And that really helped me find Shay, and really helped me and it helped me find that subtext that I can bring in behind everything to have that little background information around it in the scenes.
Yeah. And she has like a bite to her, which I like.
She's got a little
I wanted to ask you, in terms of the season and the show overall. So I just have kind of like, I guess it's like a two-parter last question, but for the overall season, it's so good. And you are amazing. As the season goes on, your character gets better and better. We see her more and more. I was so happy. It's fully fleshed out. I love Shay. I love her.
Thank you.
So I wanted to know, I guess for a two-parter, for the first part, what was it like kind of filming the whole series, working with all these different actors, working with Colin, like just like kind of like the experience of being on the show? And then also the second half is, now that some of it has aired, I mean, people are freaking out, which I'm not surprised at all. So people are freaking out about the show. I'm crossing my fingers for season 2. But is there anything that you'd want to say to fans, because they're so excited and so many people are relating to the show on so many different levels?
Well, one, with the first question, most of my scenes are with Colin, and I love working with Colin O'Brien, who plays Edward. Whenever we're doing scenes, it's kind of like a tennis match where we're just throwing the ball back and forth, and it's just so natural and so free. And working with like people like Jason Katims, they give the actors and actresses like so much freedom to just move around and do improv and to keep it all really organic. And I feel like me and Colin, we just have such great chemistry on scene and in life. And it was just so amazing working with him. And then I also do some scenes with Taylor Schilling, and she is so talented. Like, you cannot tell where Taylor stops and Lacey starts, because she is just so natural and grounded and organic. It's like, literally, it's like talking in a conversation. And
then it sounds like amazing.
Thank you.
Like that.
And then for the second question, I'm gonna say, grab your tissues, get ready to laugh and then cry, scream, get angry, because Dear Edward is such an emotional layered roller coaster that I'm so honored that I get to be a part of.
Well, I just have to tell you, I would literally talk to you for an hour and a half about your character because I love her so much. But I will have to say that you are one of the most talented young actresses that I have ever seen. I love her so much on the show. You did such a great job. The chemistry, the emotion, everything you gave is there. It's so beautiful. Like I said, I'm crossing my fingers for season 2. I want to mention really quickly, I know you have 2 upcoming projects, so people can like look out for Psych, and then I think Strangers in a Strange Land is online. I think
Strangers in a Strange Land.
Okay, so that one you're not doing. Okay, so I wanted to ask really quickly. So
And
is
then
Psych the next
one
one?
more that there's a movie feature film that I hopefully will be filming soon. It is a post-apocalyptic movie. I can't say much about it, but fingers and toes crossed. I am, yeah.
Okay, so that's what we'll find out. So
Yes.
so you have stuff coming up, but hopefully there'll be a second season. I'm crossing my fingers. But I just have to tell you, you were just fantastic, and you are emotional and serious and beautiful and funny and sarcastic, and you just did everything I think that Shay needed, and you brought her to life in such a beautiful way. And I already know people are connecting to her so much just from tweets that I got and things like that. So I just want to thank you for putting so much effort and time and background into her because it's amazing. And there were a couple times you got me choked up when I was watching, I'm not gonna lie. So I think you just did such a great job. And like I said, I'm just hoping to see more of that and just more of you in everything because you're good in everything. And I just want to congratulate you because everyone's talking about it. So I'm so happy for you. So congratulations on everything. I'm so excited. Well,
Thank you so much.
Oh no, it's okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I would talk to you so much longer if we had time, but thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for taking your time to talk to me. This has been awesome and so much fun.
Oh, I'm so excited. So so everyone can and really quickly, where can people follow you if they want to get like updates on projects?
You can follow me on Instagram on Eva Ariel Binder.
Okay, perfect. So follow her. You'll get updates on all her future projects. Watch her and Dear Edward on Apple TV Plus. It's airing now, and there's episodes you can go stream. And we will follow her for all her upcoming things. And we thank you for coming to visit us.
Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed listening to Eva talk about the show and what fans can expect for this upcoming season. The show is currently available now streaming on Apple TV Plus, so make sure you go and check it out. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're updated on all of our latest podcasts, and head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe so you're updated on all of our video content.